You ready to go? All right. What's up, TT?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask a little bit about yourself. What was the off-season focus? What did you kind of want to work on individually? I know y'all, everybody always wants to add to their game during the off-season. So what was your focus in between mom time?
Like you said, I focused on adding on to my game, getting in great conditioning, losing a little bit of weight from last season. But I had the opportunity to go to Australia, won the championship there. I got to do a little bit of everything there. So, bringing the ball up the court, initiating offense, working on defense, I had a really good time. It's an opportunity for me to regain my confidence and just to get ready for training camp this year and to come in with a lot of confidence.
Just real quick, a quick follow-up. You said regain your confidence. Did that take a little bit of a hit last year?
Yeah, it took a hit. I lost my number one fan last year. My grandfather, who introduced me to the sport of basketball. So, last summer was really tough for me last year. So this year, I come back, with a clear mind, and just able to focus on basketball and, be able to perform for my team.
Hey, how are you?
Hey.
So, correct me if I'm wrong here. You went to Australia by yourself, right?
No, my son with me.
Okay.
Yeah, he went with me initially, and then he came back over to visit his dad.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw the reunion video.
Oh yeah. He came with me. He did school for a couple of months out there, and then he came back during Christmas, and then he stayed. He ended up staying.
Got it. Okay.
Mhm.
I was gonna ask you about having to be separated for that whole season, but
Oh, it wasn't the whole season. No, it wasn't the whole season, but it was still hard. It was extremely hard.
I bet. So pivoting then to this season, how are you thinking about your role coming off of a season where you probably didn't play as much as you wanted to, and such a great season in Australia?
I think it's just coming in here and just being realistic, and just being a true professional and vet, and just being open to filling whatever role the team needs me, whether it's being vocal, whether it's being, a backup post player coming off the bench, or just being, a great culture piece in the locker room. Whatever is thrown my way, I'm open to it and, ready.
So when did you get back from Australia? Have you been in these
Yeah.
unofficial workouts?
So I've been here for almost a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So just curious, who's caught your eye, whether it's a returning player who's added something or a new player you're impressed with?
I think everyone has done a great job this off season. Hi, Kristi. This off season, with working hard, and just preparing for training camp. It's of course it's great to see Kristi back here in DC. I told her it took her long enough to get back, but no, it's been great. Just being here and around everyone, working out and just competing every day.
Well, I still have the mic, so I'll turn to Kristi, I guess. Welcome back, Kristi. It's been a while. What were you thinking when you walked through the doors here for the first time again as a Mystic? What does this feel like for you to be back?
At peace. At peace. It was nice walking back into a familiar, well-kept arena. Don't take those things for granted. I don't. But to see all the faces and just the energy and the enthusiasm, I'm really excited. If you can't tell my voice.
And then you bring some former Sparks teammates with you
Yeah.
as well. So does it feel like some weird mashup of 2019 Mystics and your Sparks teammates, or how do you think you all kind of fit together?
No, I think I just won GM of the year. I got the right pieces with us. No, it's definitely not weird for me. It's it makes everything feel right. It makes everything feel whole. Going to LA and, I didn't know Slim or Zowie before that experience, and got really close with them. And now for all of us to be back here, but now I get to bring my old babies with the new ones. It's just a cool collaboration. And I'm really excited. And it's a blessing when you get to be around people that you enjoy every single day. And I don't take that for granted either. So, yeah, at peace, whole, everything's good.
Hello, Terps. And Kristi, just being back here, and you just talked about being at peace, but tactically speaking, being on the floor with Natasha Cloud, that was a great combo, seasons back in the championship season. What kind of perimeter looks do you foresee for the team coming up this year, with the depth at not just the point guard position, but the 1, 2, and the 3?
Yeah, depth, it's important. It's not a one-man show, and I'm excited to be alongside in the guard position, Tosh, Little A, Slim now. That's a hell of a group. And I know those guys are dogs, they're gonna do a lot of dirty work for me. So I'm surrounded by the right people, and it's my job to do what I do to help them. So we're just here to help one another. I think it's gonna be a great mix. It's served well in the past, and I think we've only gotten better now in 2023.
And TT, this one's for you, just wait, your experience, and you said you regained your confidence, but with your experience, what kind of leverage do you feel that you can provide to impact the team in that way?
I think it's just having the experience of knowing and being the culture every day, and just knowing the system and know what's expected of us. I can help the young players get on board and play to their strengths and just be a great positive voice in the locker room.
How you ladies doing?
Great.
As Terps, I want to ask you kind of a joint question. I've covered women's basketball at the Terps, and the passion, Coach Brenda, it's just like, there's like a feeling that you have to be to kind of get there down the middle of one another too. Can you just talk about how cool it is being so close to that passionate fan base as Washington Mystics?
Yeah, it's fun. I think Coach B recruits the right type of players, and we grew up with that fire, we grew up with that killer. Those are the type of characteristic that she wants on her team, on her Terps teams, and that's why you see it year in and year out in the draft. When these guys come out, that competitiveness, that fire, that drive, you see it at AT, obviously Diamond this year, Shator, like the list goes.
Right.
We got a laundry
It's a long
list.
yeah.
But the common denominator is our fire, is our competitiveness, but also our selflessness. And we're always going to be good teammates, and that's something we also take really, really great pride in. And that's why we are winners, and that's why we win championships.
Kristi, I've been a huge fan of you both since your guys' college days. You've always been a natural leader. Tell me, how are you stepping into the season and kind of keeping everybody's mindset focused? There's a lot of talk when people bring up the WNBA of these super teams and New York and Vegas. How do you keep your team focused, and how are you just taking that leadership role on head on?
I think I've done a good job from a leadership aspect throughout the course of my career, is because I don't pay attention to the noise. I don't watch the media, I don't listen to the media, I don't read. And it helps me stay centered and grounded and focused on the task. And that's just kind of the approach I've always had. So I understand that there are two good teams out there that everybody's talking about. That's cool. I think for us, I think we've always thrived under having an underdog approach, just putting our head down and doing the work. And I think when you stay in that mindset and have that focus, you're not rattled by the noise. And we know what everybody's going to be talking about. I'm not worried about anybody else. I'm worried about us getting better every day, and having that mindset of peaking at the right time. And there are more than just two other teams out there in the W. There are a lot of good basketball teams in this league, and a lot of great players that are really well coached. And so it's not the two others. It's not us three. There's 12. So the real main focus is just staying on our daily grind and worrying about ourselves and having that approach. And I think if we do that, then good things will happen.
Hey, Kristi, this might be sounding a little bit off the leadership stuff, but I'm just curious, how does the coaching experience kind of bleed over or play into you as a player on the floor, and how does that balance? Do you feel like sometimes do you have the balance between kind of being a coach and saying too much, or saying, hey, now I'm kind of more of in a player role, so maybe I should
I think in both roles, I don't ever say too much. I have a good feel, and I think coaching in the NBA has impacted me a lot. Just the way I see the game certainly slowed down for me individually. Just with the amount of film that we watch, it's insane. But also just how I see it, just kind of happening in front of you. This might not make any sense, but just with like all the amounts of like plays that I watch and I draw and I just creatively think, that helps me creatively be me on the floor, and it helps me set up my teammates and getting them in the right position. It's understanding certain coverages where if this happens, like I don't have to overthink, because if they do this, then I'm going to do that. They do that, like there's a counter for everything. And so those are like the little things that I'll, share with my teammates, so then they're making those reads. So like we'll be able to do things without even like talking to each other. But yeah, coaching's cool and playing's fun and everything's good.
Thank you.
Tianna, good to see you.
Nice thing.
Kristi, welcome back. I just have a quick question about Eric, and I know you just got here and but you're familiar with everybody. What have you seen from Eric, and what has changed from when you were with him last time and now him being your head coach now? What have you observed and your kind of takeaways from him?
I've been here very long, but I think the first thing, and I noticed this not even just with E, but with my former teammates and now teammates again. Everyone seems so much more mature. They seem more poised. They seem more in control. Listening to E, it's like, he's got his big boy pants on, if that makes sense. Like, he's speaking things with his chest, because he's the boss. He's our leader. He understands like the responsibility and the task at hand. And when you're an assistant, you're in a different role. Like I'm an assistant in Dallas. It would be completely different if I was Jason Kidd. And that's just something you have to step into, and it is different. But I think he's going to do a great job. I think he has a room full of women that are excited and are ready to play for him and make him look good, and he wants to make us look good. And it's that relationship. He has no ego. He's an open book. He's approachable. And those are very, very important characteristics for a head coach, and he's got them.
We're going to be moving the questions to Zoom.
All right, Kiko.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you very much. I have a question to Kristi. I want to ask you a couple of more questions about the coaching. And what do you think about increasing the number of the female coaches in the NBA and the Major League?
Hold on. Can you say that again?
What do you think about increasing the number of
increasing number of coaches?
Female coaches?
I think it's great. I think they finally are getting it together. There's a lot of vantage points and a lot of experience that these women have that hasn't been utilized for many years. So now that door has kind of been open, and all the women obviously taking advantage of the opportunity, but that's something that should have even been before. But the fact that it's happening now, I think it's going to continue to happen because they recognize the value that we bring and the wealth of knowledge that we bring in a different vantage point that's completely different from what they're used to. And like that level of diversity, that's what breeds growth. And I think that's what everybody wants. So I'm extremely happy and blessed to be a part of it. And I hope it only continues to trend up.
And what is the most challenging with coaching NBA player?
The most challenging thing, coaching NBA players.
Yeah.
It's not as challenging as one would think. I mean, they're human beings, they're athletes. And I think for me, I think I'm fortunate because I'm still a player, and they can watch me, and they know what I've done. And so there's a respect factor there. But those guys, they're not difficult. I think the biggest thing probably is money drives your ego, and sometimes your ego can get a little out of control when you're getting paid bukus of money. But other than that, I'm around great guys every single day. It's not overly difficult. Women are better though.
Thank you very much.
Peace.
Thank you.
All right. Yep.
Thanks, John.
Kristi, you said GM of the year for you recruiting Slim.
Of course.